What's up everyone? Welcome to another Resident Evil movie review. If you don't know, I've already done a review on both Resident Evil Degeneration and Resident Evil Damnation, and now I'm doing a review on the final Resident Evil CG film, Resident Evil Vendetta. Degeneration and Damnation are both liked by the majority of Resident Evil fans, but Vendetta? Oh boy. This movie is not liked by the majority of people, and some people have made valid points as to why this movie sucks, whereas others, not so much. Like, for instance, some people say this movie is too action-packed, but both Degeneration and especially Damnation are on the same league of insanity as this one. What about me? What's my take on the movie? Well, fun fact, I actually watched this movie back when it released in 2017, and I remember thinking it was fine. However, as time passed by, I slowly started thinking otherwise about it. However, after rewatching it for the sake of this review, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. In fact, there's some awesome stuff in this movie. However, as you would expect from the bad rep it has, this movie is still heavily flawed. But what works and what doesn't? Well, let's find out as we venture the crazy world of Resident Evil Vendetta. Hey everyone, the Slime Sonic fan here, and real quick, I just wanted to announce an exciting Resident Evil project I've been working on. If you guys aren't familiar with the app Storyfire, it's an app where you can create videos via written or video created. And for the past 5 weeks, I've been writing a Resident Evil fan story called Resident Evil Treachery. Set in between the events of Resident Evil 1 and 2, this story follows a group of 4 police officers on a bus transferring 4 infamous criminals where, without giving away too much, things go awry and the bus crashes. Now having to catch the 4 escapees, each of the characters end up in a seemingly abandoned house where evil awaits all of them. I was trying to be as vague as possible to avoid spoiling anything, but that's the gist of the story, and since the story takes place earlier in the timeline, I tried to make it as claustrophobic, tense, and horrific as possible so it can have a style reminiscent of the earlier titles in the series. Another thing I also like about it is, at first, the story feels very disconnected from the universe of Resident Evil, but as it slowly progresses, it reveals more and more connections to the main universe. From a characterization and plot standpoint, I actually think I did an alright job of this one, and my skills as a writer are slowly improving. But there's still much more to learn before I potentially one day become an author, so if you would be so kind, it would mean the world to me if you were to check it out and give me some feedback. Also, if you're a fan of Resident Evil, like me, then I think there'd be some enjoyment to be had reading it. Who knows, maybe you'll even really enjoy it. The link to it will be in the description. Anyways, let the video commence. So the movie opens up with Leon walking into a room full of body bags, and in what looks like a callback to the opening of the Resident Evil HD remake, one of the bags starts shaking violently, which basically means what you think it means, and Leon lights it up. A pretty vague but chilling opening, especially for those poor souls who don't know what Resident Evil is and clicked on this movie at random. Anyways, we see Chris Redfield paired with a bunch of regular Marines is going into a house thought to be owned by a BOW arms dealer, Glenn Aries. This is also a rescue mission since some random girl that Chris knows and her son are thought to be there as hostages as well. So the group enter the house in separate teams, and one of the teams finds the son who's not looking so good. Many people have brought up the fact that these guys not knowing what zombies are, despite them existing in this world for 20 years now, is stupid. However, it's obvious that the government have kept the existence of zombies a secret from the public for many years. I mean, why do you think they blew up Raccoon City? Why do you think the president got assassinated in the 6th game because he was going to go public with the Raccoon City incident? In fact, we saw this exact same thing in Degeneration, and even if they know what zombies are, they've still never seen or interacted with one before, since they're not BSAA guys. The only BSAA guy there is Chris. Now, if you want something that doesn't make sense to point out, you can start with the fact that they sent a team of Marines to go after a guy who's known for selling BOWs instead of a BSAA who specializes in dealing with BOW situations and or threats. Anyways, the Marines get picked off one by one in a horror-styled sequence, and it's pretty cool. Chris is the lone survivor, and he goes outside when he's attacked by Glenn Aries, the arms dealer. After a okay but admittedly goofy fight, Glenn wipes the floor with Chris and reveals that his BOWs actually have some form of intelligence and can distinguish between ally and enemy. Oh, and that girl Chris wanted to rescue is a zombie. Glenn and his crew leaves, and Chris gets some chopper support before it's too late. Then we get a goofy "No!" This is amazing. After that, we're treated to a flashback of Glenn at his wedding when suddenly a bomb drops and kills everyone but him. This is sad at first until we get a second "No!" This is Resident Evil writing without a question. After that, we're introduced to Rebecca Chambers. That's right, Rebecca Chambers, who made her debut in the original Resident Evil alongside iconic series staples like Jill, Barry, Chris, and Albert Wesker. Rebecca hasn't made an appearance in the series since Resident Evil 0 was released in 2002, but now she's back. Not only that, but she's a scientist, which is cool, since she's smart. Anyways, Rebecca is working on a cure for the new virus, which is the A virus? Oh, you broke the Resident Evil tradition by having a letter to the virus not have an E sound. That's the T virus, G virus, C virus. You could technically call the virus in Resident Evil 7 the E virus if you wanted. What happened? Oh gee, I'm so upset I'm too occupied to care about that Rebecca's lab partner just got ganked. Yeah, this weird BOW blonde who's a part of Glenn's crew has infiltrated the building and she releases the A virus in the building. Rebecca is infected, but she's able to cure herself, but she's now trapped in a building with dozens of zombies and she's defenseless. You know, for everyone saying this movie was too action-packed, it's had more horror scenes than the last two movies already. We even get a cool nod to the first ever zombie encounter in Resident Evil. Eventually, Rebecca is saved by none other than Chris Redfield, and seeing Chris and Rebecca reunite after 20 years is so freaking cool to see. It's also funny to see Rebecca look the exact same while Chris looks like he's ready to punch a boulder. They even brought back that weird thumbs up motion they used to do. In the Resident Evil 1 remake, Chris always did a little weird thumbs up to Rebecca, and we saw Rebecca do it in Resident Evil 0. It's such a weird little detail, but it's so nice to see. Anyways, Rebecca analyzed the A virus and has made the stunning revelation. Some of the A virus is made up of the Lost Plagueis parasite. For those of you who don't know what that is, Lost Plagueis is a parasite that infects people and turns them into mindless slaves that are extremely hostile. They were the enemies you fought in Resident Evil 4 and 5, and they were the main part of Damnation. So the two decide to contact Leon since they think he's a Lost Plagueis expert. However, Chris had an entire game where he fought Lost Plagueis enemies, so you should know just as much as he does. And plus, I don't think fighting them makes you an expert, but I guess since he dealt with the occult and he dealt with Lost Plagueis twice, that makes him an expert. So on the way to Leon, we're introduced to Chris's squad, who have really minor roles, and we get a funny throwaway line of Chris making fun of two of his teammates for talking about Breaking Bad a lot. However, there's a clip in Breaking Bad where the two characters, Skinny and Badger, mention Resident Evil 4, so that raises some questions. Anyways, Chris and Rebecca reach Leon, who's getting drunk in a bar, and when he's confronted with the idea of helping Chris and Rebecca stop Glenn, Leon refuses because those body bags we saw at the beginning of the movie were his squad. Well, former squad. A lot of people said that Leon refusing to help is really out of character since Leon is supposed to always help out and has a huge heart, and I initially thought this too. However, it kinda makes sense. Leon joined the police force because he's always wanted to help people. However, in Resident Evil 2, 4, 6, heck, even Damnation, Leon has helped save the world before. However, this man has witnessed the deaths of so many innocent people that he couldn't save. And depending on his relationship with his squad, all of this could be enough to make him rethink his decisions and question his naive mindset that if they keep fighting, eventually the threats of BOWs will just suddenly disappear. However, it's been 20 years and nothing's changed. This isn't out of character for Leon, it's actually really in character. He's even disgusted that the quote-unquote good guys dropped a bomb on a man's wedding. Leon's reluctance to continue fighting angers Chris, and the two get in an argument which Rebecca breaks up. Frustrated, Rebecca leaves to go to the ladies' room, and it's there she's grabbed by the blonde chick. Yeah, I don't know her name. Then a man barges in, and Leon immediately gets physical since the man sold out Leon's squad, but the man pleads with Leon and reveals he's collected data on Glenn and he wants Leon to stop him so his family will be safe. Before anything happens, Bane, that's obviously not what he's called, but come on, look at him, shoots the place up with a minigun and kills an innocent waitress and the guy. Chris also sees Rebecca being taken. After his specialist runs out, Bane goes back to camp in his corner, wrong gaming franchise. Chris and Leon figure out Glenn is planning on infecting an entire city. Back to Rebecca, we get a really oddly unsettling scene where it turns out Rebecca looks exactly like Glenn's wife and Glenn proposes. After refusing, Glenn has a mental breakdown and yeah, that's it. That was really uncomfortable. On the bright side, we get some cool information where it's revealed Blondie and Bane are mutated close friends of Glenn. Then some random city gets gassed, turning most of the residents into evil zombies. Chris, Leon, and a dude from Chris's squad shows up and are able to stop a truck which had the Blondie in it. However, for some reason, the truck has Cerberus dogs in it and they kill the expendable character. Don't worry, man, I heard Better Call Saul wasn't as good, so you're probably not missing anything too mind-blowing. By the way, instead of, I don't know, shooting the dogs, Leon catches their attention and leads them on a populated highway where, in the clash with the dogs, gets innocent civilians killed. People have criticized this scene since Leon is supposed to care about civilian lives more than anyone, and, yeah, I agree. At least this is a pretty cool action scene, though. And as Rebecca gets injected with the A virus and... Wait a minute, what? Okay, so in the earlier scene that was too minor to mention, Glenn promises to his dead wife he's going to make the world a better place. Oh, okay, so he's doing this for his wife. Then he kidnaps Rebecca and he wants her to be his new wife. While creepily abrupt and out of nowhere, I can see that as a genuine motive. But now he's injecting Rebecca with the virus? What is he doing? I get he's supposed to be insane, but just because he's insane doesn't mean he's not capable of having a proper motive. Even Irving from RE5 had a motive, despite how much of a minor insane screwball he was. Whatever, so Chris makes it inside of the zombie-infested building Glenn is in, where he's met by Leon. Then the two get a nice fight scene with some zombies, and I remember this scene was posted as a sneak peek, and it blew my 13-year-old mind. Chris makes it to Rebecca's room, where she's progressively getting worse when he's interrupted by Bane, but after a brief fight scene, Bane is stopped. And I'm surprised Chris just didn't punch him out of existence. He would have won within the first couple of punches. Chris heads up to the rooftop where he's confronted by Glenn, and then in my favorite fight scene in all of the CG Resident Evil films, Chris and Glenn duke it out, and this is a really fast-paced fight scene, and it really does establish these two as experienced fighters. I honestly wish I could show you guys the entire fight scene, it's pretty solid. Anyways, Chris comes out on top while Glenn comes out on bottom. However, even after falling down an entire skyscraper, he's still alive, and in his dying moments, he fuses with Bane, and he looks stupid. Then Chris and Leon fight the mutated Glenn with the help of Chris's squad, and one of them has what I think is a railgun, I'm not sure. So, who's going to break the news that the city still has civilians in it and she probably just murdered thousands of people? You know what? If every single civilian of Station Square can survive perfect chaos, these guys would be able to walk it off. Then in the only cool moment during this mutated fight, Leon drives his motorcycle off the building and into Glenn, and it blows up, killing Glenn once and for all. Chris rushes over to Rebecca and he cures her, and I just realized that after healing Chris a lot in the first game, Chris can finally return the favor. Then as a middle finger to the people who know how zombies work, you're supposed to believe that they were also able to cure the entire city as well and turn zombies back into humans. This is so stupid, I lack the energy to tackle it. This is something you'd see on Disney Channel. Oh, wait a minute. Anyways, the day is saved and we get our classic chopper ride to victory, and that was Resident Evil Vendetta, and it wasn't half bad. Oh, and you also have the confusing post-credits scene that I don't know what's setting up, but yeah. Anyways, I guess I'll start with the characters. I really liked everyone. Chris was the headstrong BSA hero ready to jump into battle. Rebecca was the super nice medical professional of the group, and what they did with Leon was pretty interesting. Seeing him finally start questioning the screwed up road he's in was really interesting, and I hope something is done with that the next time we see him. Really, the only character I wasn't a huge fan of is Glenn. I would have liked him as a villain if his motives weren't so all over the place. Other than that, the character was fine. Now for the plot. Yeah, it's a little messy. There's a few inconsistencies and things that don't make sense. The movie can get really goofy if you're not used to Resident Evil cheese. However, one thing I will say is a huge positive about the movie is gorgeous CG. While it's not Pixar or anything, the animation in this movie is pretty good and everything moves really well. In conclusion, Resident Evil Vendetta is an okay movie. It has decent character portrayals, good animation, and some great action scenes. However, some stuff in this movie just makes no sense, and this movie doesn't go for anything really interesting to accomplish. It's just a movie. I would personally rank this movie above The Generation since it does have a clearer focus and does more interesting things, but it does have the amazingly accurate character portrayals, neat ideas, and awesome action sequences as Damnation. Resident Evil Vendetta gets a 3 out of 5. Anyways, what about you guys? Have you guys seen Resident Evil Vendetta? If you have, what do you think? If not, then would you check it out? If you've seen any of the CG Resident Evil films, then what is your favorite out of the 3? Or do you hate all of them? If you do, then oh boy, you might want to avoid the live action ones, which I'll have to reluctantly talk about next Resident Evil Marathon. Guys, I'm not even kidding, I tried watching these movies and I could barely make it through them. They're excruciating. And trust me, I'm just as excited to watch them again and talk about them in detail as you guys think I am. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, then please like and subscribe, and as always, I will see you guys next time. Peace, everyone. What's up, everyone? This Lion Sonic fan here, and I just want to talk about Storyfire real quick. If you're unaware of what Storyfire is, it's a fairly recent app that's not only a super reliable storytelling app for both written and video created series, but it's on its way to becoming the next big video sharing site. I've been on this app for a while now, but it's about time I finally say something about it. If you're looking for an app to write a story or get permission from the staff to create videos where you can be as free as you own, then head on over to Storyfire. I have my account on there that goes by The Cool Sly, and I've spent months, if not years, on some of the series I've written on there, and it's a great place to pursue my main passion, which has always been storytelling. Entertainment comes second. I have a Resident Evil story that will most likely have already been released by the time you are seeing this video. Resident Evil Treachery is set to release on October 1st, which is a story I've spent a while planning, writing, and proofreading. And between you and me, I'm working on 100 chaptered personal iteration of King Kong. Peter Jackson's King Kong was one of my favorite childhood movies, and I'm going to try to bring it justice with my own personal iteration, which is set to release on April 7th, which, fun fact, is the 80th anniversary of the first ever King Kong film. So I'm super excited for that. That's my next big project in Storyfire, and it would mean the world to me if you guys would check those out and maybe give me some feedback to help me become a better writer. That's all I wanted to say, and I hope I see you guys around the fire.